Well, by now you may have discovered it's Safer Internet Day. So how do we make the World Wide Web a better place, a safer place? Adrian Turner is the CEO of the CSIRO's research network Data 61. Welcome to RN Drive.
Thank you for having me.
UNICEF says there are more than 175,000 kids logging online for the first time every day. How can they protect themselves?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if we bring that back to Australia and just look at 4 to 5 year olds, more than 40% of Australian 4 to 5 year olds are spending more than 2 hours a day online. So we have to recognise that the internet is an incredible thing, but it amplifies the best and the worst, really, of humanity. And just as if we were travelling to another country, we would take steps to protect our kids. We need to do that when our kids are online. And there are concrete things that parents can do and kids can do as well. From a parent's perspective, it's really about starting a conversation and having an open dialogue with your child. And concrete things like in the evenings have charging stations in common family areas. And at all times reassure your kids that if they come to you with something to talk about, that the repercussion won't be to block internet access, which is one of the big obstacles for kids in coming forward and engaging with their parents.
A new cyber safety campaign is aiming to educate children as young as 4 about the dangers of posting explicit material online. Here's Cybersecurity Minister Angus Taylor.
We've all seen very young kids playing around with phones, and often they can post these sorts of sexually explicit images inadvertently. It's not necessarily intentional. On occasions, it can be encouraged by a child sex offender.
I was shocked to hear that. I have young children. They mostly, Google search for cute animal videos. I've got to be honest, that's all they're interested in. Why would kids as young as 4 do that? I understand by mistake. But how could a child that young be coerced into doing that?
Well, I'm not a psychologist to comment on the specifics of why kids would or wouldn't, but I think the thing to take away from that is that our kids are still developing emotionally, and they're incredibly susceptible to being influenced. And the steps that we can take as parents to protect them, there are things we can do as it relates to searching, like there's a safe search capability in most web browsers that will automatically filter out explicit content. Things like sharing with our kids and making sure that they know how to unfriend other people. And more than anything, just instilling in them a sense of the importance of trust. So kids shouldn't be trusting anyone that they don't know online, up until a certain age. So there are things that we can instill in our children, but it's really through open dialogue and ongoing conversation with the kids.
Just on another topic you've been very much talking about and focusing on, why are there so few women in STEM careers still?
So this is something that I'm personally very passionate about. So if you look at, for example, Data 61, which is the CSIRO's digital and data science group, today we're about 22% women, which is not good enough. But if you look at industry averages, it's about on par. The problem that we have is women aren't electing to stay involved in STEM and engage in careers in sciences. And so the pipeline of talent is too small, and there are interventions. So there are programs like the Girls Programming Network, for example, which is something that we actively support. CSIRO, in fact, I flew back up from Melbourne today, does a program, STEM Professionals in Schools, where they pair up STEM professionals, and we go in and talk to kids and help them understand that the math that they're doing today can translate into world-changing applications, whether it's aerospace, whether it's health, whether it's other domains, physics, robotics. mathematics underpins that. And I've found in my experience, it's just helping to contextualise for the kids goes a long way so that they can see a path for the study and the things that they're learning today.
Adrian, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Adrian Turner is the CEO of the CSIRO's research network Data 61, and this is RN Drive.